Hi, welcome to Rise. I'm your host, Sholina, and today I have a special guest with me, Sharon Permack, who is a certified BodyTalk practitioner. Sharon, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to have this discussion with you. So first, if you could tell me a little bit about what it is that you do. Tell me a little bit about BodyTalk.
BodyTalk is a whole healthcare system based in energy medicine, and we've always done healing through moving energy. BodyTalk is just really taking it to the next level. It's a wonderful system where we have certain concepts that we follow, such as the body has an innate ability to heal itself. Every cell is talking to every other cell in our body. You may not realize it, but when you start to experience BodyTalk, you realize the change that can happen, because what we're looking for is to improve the communication within your body, within the cells within the body. Yes, so it's really exciting. And we work with the priority of the client. We use the protocol chart to find out what needs balancing, what's out of balance. With all the stresses and the huge changes and everything happening in the world, our stresses are at such an all-time high.
Extreme.
Right?
Yeah, extreme. There's too many things that are going on, not just, as above, so below, or whatever is happening within you is also happening into the outside world, right? So when you see all the change that's happening right now, which could be very scary for us light workers, we're excited for this change, but it's very dramatic in how it's happening. And so I wanted to interview somebody who does do energy healing, but not your typical, this is very different from Reiki, from what I understand, right?
Yes.
And even though they're both a little bit intuitive, I think you have a certain protocol in BodyTalk that you are able to zone in. It's the other person, it's your client who is telling you what the issues are. Their body is telling you. It's not something that you have to intuitively figure out, right?
Right, because our innate intelligence is our whole body. It's speaking to us all the time.
It knows everything.
So this is a vehicle to understand that better, and then to also help to create change. John VELTHEIM is the creator of this system, and he had health issues of his own, like so many of us are struggling with.
Healer, heal thyself.
And he has a background in osteopathy and several other trainings. And he took all his knowledge, all his wisdom, and put it into a protocol chart. And what we use the protocol chart for is to really help learn what the body is asking, to get back in balance, for help. For example, I often use this example. 3 people have headaches. Well, one person, it may be because they were in a car accident, and there's a technique called active memory often that comes up in my practice when I'm working with people with headaches. As an example, they can, they have pain in their neck, or they have these headaches and nothing's working, and it's often the trauma of the moment that happens that gets just stuck in our bodies,
right? Because
we tense up and it's frightful. And the active memory technique can release that trauma from the car accident, and then the person's symptoms just dissipate. Another person, they might have a tremendous amount of stress from work, that it may be their boss. But through the BodyTalk system, we can explore, and the body gives us feedback with yes/no answers of what specifically is going on for that person.
I see. And so do you ever go back to the actual root of the problem? I know that when I practice body psychotherapy, it's intuitive, but I'm also checking in with the person to see what they're feeling and what's stored in that trauma. And sometimes we go back to a past life, or we go back to a childhood wound that needs to be healed.
And what we're looking for is the root of the problem. That's where we go. That's where we dig. If we need to. Sometimes you don't even need to. That's the wonderful thing about BodyTalk, is it's honoring the person. But as a BodyTalk practitioner, we're taught to just be present with what comes up. Right? And to honor that person. The body knows.
Intuitively knows what needs to come up and when is the right time for that particular healing, right?
And I think we all go through this, that, we really want to know every single detail. What is causing this problem?
Right? Me, I want to know everything.
And sometimes we just don't need to.
Right.
And then what BodyTalk does is, once we find all the items, we come up with a formula. It may be a technique. Maybe it's the heart needs to talk to the lungs. Sometimes it's all about communication and having those cells communicate to each other but everything's communicating to everything all the time. And then in order to create the change, we use tapping. Tapping has been around forever.
So you mean EFT, emotional freedom technique, or a different type of tapping?
It's tapping. It's a different type of tapping for BodyTalk.
Okay.
And what we do is once we have the formula and what's going to help the person to release and to become more in balance, what we do is we tap the head, because we have the heart, the head, and all the information going on inside the head and the processing. Then we tap on the heart, because our innate intelligence is in the heart, and we store the changes here. That's our intention. Whatever we're doing as we make these changes, there's a energy philosophy, right? That energy flows where our intention goes. So our intention and our focus is on the changes that have come up within the session. And to create those change, as I tap on someone, my focus and intention is for these changes to happen.
Right.
So we tap on the head, we tap on the heart, and then we tap on our stomach, our gut, because our gut is all about decision making and processing. And as we tap all three, it also synchronizes the three brains so they all work together.
Exactly. Okay.
And it helps to harmonize the body.
Fantastic. That's funny, because that's exactly where I wanted this conversation to go, because I'm finding that I wanted to give tools to people with this great amount of change that's happening, all the stress that's going on in the world, in our own lives, the empowerment of women, the divine feminine rising, right? There's so many things that are going on, and I find that people often get stuck. I'm one of them that, I always have to check in with myself and see, where is this coming from? I get stuck in the mind, the monkey mind. And then I start making decisions from my mind, and then they're not always the right decisions, or they're not always the easiest decisions, right? So I believe in the path of least resistance, although it's taken me years to figure that out. But
I hear you, sister.
Right?
Yes.
I just wanted a tool to help people connect heart, mind, and I guess gut
yes.
brain, so that when they do make decisions, or they do need that intuitive guidance, it's going to be on the path of least resistance. We're not just constantly thinking from our brains and making those decisions. It's not about logic, right? It's about how you're feeling and intuitive, and that's the tool that I wanted to share with the audience today.
Right. So I'm going to show you how to do the BodyTalk Cortices, which is a balancing of the right brain and the left brain. And then it's also synchronizing the three brains. And it just brings you to a calm place, helps you to focus, but it also allows, because you're in a much more relaxed place, to drop into your heart, to listen to those messages. Because also what happens is you'll see some people are really right brain, some people are really left brain, and what the Cortices does is it balances us so that we use both sides together in the most harmonious way.
So not too long ago, I was at an event with you, a mental health event, and I remember being really stressed out that morning, and you sat me down and you took me through some of the Cortices. And it wasn't a very long session at all. It was very, very brief, but I do remember feeling a lot.
It was a taster.
It was a taster. It was a teaser. Yeah, and now she's here, so it obviously worked. But no, I felt just a sense of calmness, which, usually I'm all over the place. It takes a while for me to kind of ground my energies. I'm a Sagittarian, first of all, so I'm like, woohoo, all over the place. But that, I did find that it did quite center me very quickly, and that's what I like, because I want to do it quick, and then I got other things to do. So.
And it is, it's great. And sometimes when you're in a more stressful situation, if you do it 2 or 3 times, imagine the effect that it'll have. And you can also use it before you fall asleep.
Or before meditation, even. If you want to sit down and meditate, but you want to just calm the monkey mind, then this would probably also be beneficial, right?
There's also another technique in BodyTalk called Fast Aid, to help the body kick into healing mode.
Okay. And does that work for like a stressful situation? I'm asking because just this morning I had somebody come knocking on my door and telling me that their son was going through some really crazy changes with this abusive person in their life, and we needed to do something immediately. So I did work on him, like from a spiritual perspective. I did it with intent, but I'm wondering if this is a technique that perhaps every time he runs into this person, that maybe he could, we could do for him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I want to ask you about the stress. Your friend shows up and you're working on them, and we were you were getting ready for this. How's your stress if we measured it from 0 to 10 right now? How are you feeling?
Okay, it was quite high when you came over, but I'm probably down to maybe a 6 right now.
A 6. That's still pretty high,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, if you just close your eyes
Okay.
and go into your body, what are you noticing? Like any symptoms of the stress? Are your shoulders tight?
Okay, so my shoulders are right into my traps are a little bit tight, but I'm really feeling this anxiety feeling in my stomach area.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anything else that you notice? How's your breathing?
I could probably be breathing deeper right now.
So your breathing feels shallow. Anything in your head? Do you feel foggy, or not foggy, but tension at all?
I think my head is okay right now.
Okay, good. Before we start, do you notice anything else?
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm sitting like... Not just
so you're
because
feeling stiff.
Not just because I'm a posture expert, but I do feel like there's a little bit more effort to be upright. For some reason, I can't seem to just like relax.
Thank you.
So.
Okay, great. So now we'll do the Cortices technique. So what you do is you take your hand, either one, and you put it to the back of your head. Straight over here. And now we're going to do some tapping. So what we're going to do is we have several hand positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll have you bring your hands up to the side of your head. Okay? So back here, and we're going to use our other hand to tap.
Okay.
To create that change, and just tap on both sides and take a deep breath in.
And I just think one thing I wanted the audience to know is that you had mentioned to me that we should be tapping this way so that we're balancing both right and left side brain as opposed to this
Some
way.
people just tap here, but we're really, where we're focused also, let's put our hands down for a second. Where we're also focused, that I also left off, is we have 2 hemispheres of the brain, like I was saying, people are right, people are left. What we really don't think about when we look at a picture of the brain is there's a lot of electrical activity that goes back and forth between the 2 hemispheres, another way of communication. So our hand placement is to focus in on that centerpiece, right, to balance the energy between the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Okay. That's why we're doing the hand positions. Okay?
Great.
Okay. Now we're ready. Okay. So, and so we're going to tap on the head. Take a deep breath in. And I'm hoping people are going to join us.
Oh, I hope they do too. This doesn't take very long, guys.
And tap on your heart. Center and take another deep breath. And tap on your gut, just over your belly. Your belly button. Just good. So then we're going to stop tapping with our right hand, and we're going to lift
that
your
would be a
hand.
good idea.
Take your thumb to your pinky and move up to the next position.
Got it.
Okay, and we're going to tap again. And breathe in. And we're just asking our brain to relax. And if any other, and on your heart. And if any other thoughts I find come up, like just that stressful situation, take a deep breath. And tap on your belly. And we can relax that hand and just go to the top of our head now. And tap. You can just tap right on top of your hand. And the best thing to focus on is just, I'm relaxing now. And tap on your heart. Or any other kind words that you might want to say to yourself. It's over now and I'm okay. It can also help.
Does it make a difference if I say these words out loud?
Nope. Your spirit will receive and your body's receiving the intention. And on your belly. Okay, and relax your hand and move to your forehead. And start the tapping again. Top of your head. Take a deep breath in. And again, you can just have that soft, gentle focus to balance the right side of my brain, left side of my brain. breathing is important, not to rush through it, as we're calming down our nervous system. And tap the belly. Okay, we can relax both hands now. So we're just going to take both hands and put them along the side of your head like this. So this bottom part of your hand is right at your temple, and then your fingers, often people go like this. Mm-hmm. That seems to be the natural response, but it's really we're getting to parts of the brain that just want our attention on, keeping them on the sides, okay. Yes. And then we're going to take, so imagine your hand still staying there, lift it, and use it to tap. And tap your heart. Take another deep breath when you're ready. And the tapping's gentle. Sometimes when we're first stressed, we start off. So just a note there. I've even caught myself doing that. And tap the belly. And then put your hand back just to finish it. Another deep breath when you're ready. Just to finish it. And relax. So now we'll check into those symptoms that you had. You said you had something in your stomach area. You felt tightness.
That's minimal anxiety there now. And I noticed that I'm relaxing my shoulders, right? That's a big difference. I was here.
Right. And we don't want to slump. You still have good posture, right. But it's not rigid. What do you feel just in general around you? Like the whole energy in the room has actually shifted.
It has actually. Not so scattered. I'm much more present. I thought I was present before, but I feel much more present now.
Beautiful. And that's the cortices.
That was amazing. I hope that everybody at home tried that out. That was only just a few minutes, really, right? So that's not a lot of time. For those of you who are always rushed and stressed to get to wherever you need to be, all your other single moms out there, it takes 3 minutes to show yourself that self-love, and I really, really hope that you do that because it should make a big difference in your life. What would you suggest? Once a day, twice a day?
As needed.
As needed.
Every
hour.
In the morning before you start your day.
Perfect. Yeah.
It can just it can be focusing and just bringing your energy in to look after yourself throughout the day, that you're focused, but also at night. I use it a lot before I fall asleep.
Okay, awesome. Al, before we go, I would really like to ask you about your book, because that's really exciting. That's coming out by the end of this summer, so please tell me a little bit about that.
Thank you. I'm so excited. The title is Millions of Knots, Discovering My Light Through Cancer. In 2006, September 2006, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was also suffering, I was really very ill at the time with reoccurring pneumonia. So there I was experiencing reoccurring pneumonia. They couldn't clear it up. I was scheduled for a lung biopsy, actually.
All heart chakra stuff.
All heart, lots going on. And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I'd already studied Reiki at that point, and I'd started my healing journey. But these things were already in motion. I was already so sick. But I wanted to write the book to share my story, to encourage people, and to show them the potential for healing. Because here I am today. I never thought I would be an energy therapy practitioner. I never thought I would have the health that I do today. I still have some challenges, no doubt about it, and that's why BodyTalk is so supportive of my own healing, so I can also help people, because I've been there. I have just been there, and I know the struggles, and I talk very openly about my struggles emotionally, physically, and spiritually through that journey to get where I am today, and to share what really helped me in that journey along the way. Because really, after my breast cancer treatments, I had surgery. I had a double mastectomy, so I also want to share that part of my story with women, just to be more open about the experience and what I went through, so people can go, yes, I'm feeling that, and okay, she got through it, and I can get through it. And I want women to be empowered afterwards. It strips so much of you going through breast cancer.
Oh, any type of cancer, I'm sure.
Any type of cancer, absolutely.
Maybe that one in particular, because it's part of your womanhood that you end up, losing or feeling that loss. It's got to be I can't imagine what it would be like, actually.
Yes, what helped me to start writing the book is the day I finished breast cancer treatments, I came home. I had had 4 surgeries in like 4 months, and then I had 5 weeks of radiation, and I was so excited. I left my final radiation treatment. I'm like, oh man, I did it. And I came home and I sat on the couch and I went, what just happened to me? Like the trauma and the shock and the stress just was so overwhelming. And at the time, there was very little support available. Because I phoned the hospital at the time, and there were no resources.
For aftercare.
Right. Everybody else had been living their lives. And I was completely different. I wasn't the same person when I started. And how do you integrate yourself back in? And through writing my book, I also talk a lot about reclaiming that divine feminine.
Wow.
And I didn't realize until I was writing the book how many pieces of that were still asking for my attention and for my healing. And I hope to really make a difference for people going through that, and also to give insight to people who are around us, watching us go through that, because so many people don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. And they themselves are also going through some trauma as well. It's really hard on the caregivers.
Absolutely.
For sure. I cared for my mom for many years throughout her journey. And it's not easy. It's not an easy place to be, especially being the one who is closest to you. The closest person to that person who is dying, unfortunately. It's I think we would all benefit a little bit from the whole Cortices or BodyTalk or any type of energy healing, not just the counseling that has been only offered in the hospitals for such a long time. Like, I don't know now. I think that they do offer some type of Reiki or some type of energy
Things
healing.
are shifting, and this is the change that's coming.
Yes.
Which is really very, very exciting. Without the natural therapies, I really don't know where I would be today.
Because again, it's the right brain, left brain thinking, right? It's a balance of both worlds. I think that we need to consider.
Oh, absolutely, and I do talk about that, how I chose to take 2 train tracks together, and sometimes they overlapped. Why negate one without the other? I find in doing that, I offer people advice to really listen to their choices. Choose what feels right for you.
Exactly. Not what just somebody in a white lab coat is going to tell you what to do. Right?
Even with an energy therapy practitioner, choose what feels right for you. Yes. Listen to the information, because there's lots of good information out there.
And your body knows. We already talked about this, right? Your body will tell you if this feels right or if this doesn't feel right for you. Okay, so for those of you who took the time to do the Cortices with us, and if you didn't, then just rewatch that part of the video. It literally took 3 minutes, maybe? Not even. I'm not 100% sure. It went by really fast, and it was quite instant. The results were quite instant. So go back, watch it, do it again, and leave in the comments below how it made you feel. Did it help you? Did it not help you? Do you have any questions around it? Can we clarify anything for you? If you do have questions for either Sharon or for me, please, again, leave them in the comments, and we will be happy to comment back. In the meantime, where can people find you?
My website's innerbalanceforhealth.com. I also offer a 30-minute free consultation where we explore what your greatest challenges are and the reason for your call, and how energy therapies and BodyTalk can help you.
That's fantastic. And just to clarify, do people, when they contact you, is this something that can be done over Skype or Zoom, or is this an in-person session?
Oh no, everything's available: Zoom, Skype, and phone.
Oh, excellent. Okay, that's really good to know. So I will post all your details in the description. So if you need to reach Sharon, by all means, the information is there. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Thank you.